In this lecture, you're going to learn how to work with datetime objects in Python. So on the top, let's import the datetime module. This module has a class called datetime. There are a few different ways to create a datetime object. Here's one way. We can pass the year, the month, and the day, and optionally, we can pass the hour, minute, and second as well. So this returns a datetime object. Let's call that dt. Now, what I don't like about this code that you see in a lot of tutorials is this datetime.datetime. That is just ugly. It is better to import the datetime class from this module. So from datetime, let's import datetime. Now, we can create a datetime object like this. This is especially important if you're creating multiple datetime objects. You don't want to repeat datetime.datetime. So, this is one way to create a datetime object. We can also call datetime.now. So this is a method defined in the datetime class, and this returns the current datetime. We also have datetime.strptime. That is for parsing or converting a datetime string. This is particularly useful when we get input from the user or read it from a file. In both these scenarios, we're dealing with strings. So our datetime values are represented as strings, and we need to convert them to datetime objects. So let's say we have a string like this, 2018-01-01. Now we need to tell Python how to parse or how to convert this string into a datetime object. So we need to tell it what parts represent the year, the month, and the day. For that, we use directives. So as the second argument, we pass a format string that includes the directives that specify various components of this datetime string. So we use a %Y to represent a 4-digit year. Then we have a slash, %m to represent a 2-digit month, and %d to represent a 2-digit day. We also have directives for hour, minute, and second. Now don't worry about memorizing any of these. You can always find this in the documentation. So if you search for Python 3 strptime, on this page, down the bottom, we have this table of directives. So you can see various directives and their meaning. So as an example here, we have this % with a capital Y, which represents a 4-digit year. If you use a lowercase y, that represents a 2-digit year, okay? Now back here, so this method returns a datetime object, and we can store it here. We can also convert a timestamp into a datetime object. So on the top, let me import the time module. We call time the time. Let's say we have this timestamp somewhere in our program. Perhaps we read it from a file. Now we want to convert it to a datetime object. So this datetime class has another class method called from timestamp. You can pass this timestamp here. This returns a datetime object, so we store it here. And now let's print it to see what we get. So this is the current datetime on my machine. So these are a few different ways to create a datetime object. Now, our datetime object has attributes like year, month, day, and so on. So we can print a formatted string like this, dt.year/dt.month. Let's run this program. There you go. So 2018/11. We also have a method for formatting datetimes. So dt.strftime. This method is the opposite of strptime. So with this method, we convert a string into a datetime object. With strftime, we convert a datetime object into a string. So we need to specify our directives here. Let's say %y/%m. Now let's print the result. We get the exact same output. We can also compare datetime objects. For example, let's change this variable to dt1 and this one to dt2. We can see if dt2 is greater than dt1. Let's run the program. Obviously, that is true because today is November 21st. So this is all about datetime objects. Next, we'll look at time delta, which represents a duration.